This is exactly the face that should be Jim Harbaugh's face as he gets a Gatorade bath after winning the Big Ten football championship game. The number 2 seeded Michigan Wolverines take down Iowa in dominant fashion, 42-3, giving them their first Big Ten football championship since George W. Bush was in his first term in office back in 2004, and it puts Michigan into the college football playoff for the first time ever. Hi there from Chicago. Mike Hall and Anthony Herron with you. We've got a bevy of folks who are in Indianapolis to give you post-game reaction, interviews, analysis as the Michigan Wolverines win this 11th edition of the Big Ten football championship game. And it was a game, Anthony, when they basically never were in doubt. It might not have been crazy dominant in the first half, but it was clear the whole game they were in control.
That's what it comes down to, and I appreciate the context that you provided there with the whole presidential thing on the front end, because it's been a minute. And I think this team, when you think about the history of the Big Ten Conference, you think about the history of Big Ten football and the standard this program tends to be judged by, it does feel like this is where Michigan belongs, where we anticipate Michigan should be going into most seasons, and is very unique this year coming into a season where the expectations for Michigan football, especially during the Jim Harbaugh era, were a bit muted. And you were there in Indy. I was there in Indy. And a lot of us coming out of Indianapolis at Big Ten Media Days felt like, you know what? For whatever reason, there's something about Jim Harbaugh. There's something about the crew of players, the cast of characters that were there representing the Wolverines in Indianapolis before the season that just felt like they were ready for this moment, that they were going to attack the season, and we saw them do it.
They were 2-4 last year.
Yeah, man.
They are Big Ten champions this year. Let's show you how it happened. Remember, they just came off their huge win against Ohio State, so there was some question if there would be a bit of a letdown as they took on Iowa and Kirk Ferentz and company. There were 2 huge plays in the first half, Anthony. This one's the first.
There's one. It's huge. 67 yards, man. Blake Corum's been banged up late in the season, but he's got the afterburners.
Team ran for 211 yards on the day. Like you said, 67 of them right there from Corum. And then a little trick play. We throw it backwards to Donovan Edwards, who heaves a perfect ball to Roman Wilson.
I don't know if he's a running back, if he's a wide receiver, if he's a quarterback, but Donovan Edwards is a playmaker. That much I know.
75 yards there, and Iowa fans had a frown on their face because they were down early and could not come out of it. Cade McNamara. 27, he can make throws like that, Anthony.
Yeah, he's got a quick release, very accurate, especially when he gets rolling.
Next play, Hassan Haskins gets his 19th rushing touchdown of the season, tying for the all-time Michigan record for rushing TDs in a single year. Now, Iowa tried to make something happen, and they did it by getting some third down conversions in the third quarter.
And they made life difficult on themselves. They were behind the chains frequently, but Iowa tried to respond.
Tyler Goodson there for 17 yards on a 3rd and 8. Here's the 3rd and 6. Goodson again, 2 more yards than he needs. But later in the drive, they can't convert a 3rd down, so it's 4th and 3 on the Michigan 8. Gotta go for it, but gotta get somebody open, and they didn't.
These red zone woes, they've been there throughout the season for the Hawkeye offense.
Turnover on downs there, and then things just got worse in the 4th quarter. They were outscored 21-0 in the 4th.
What?
Yeah, this happened, a blocked punt.
I was supposed to block the punts, not get the punts blocked.
Not in this game, no. Then again, McNamara, Schoonmaker. Look at this catch.
Woo!
Beautiful concentration. McNamara ends up throwing 16 of 24 for 169. Again, nothing crazy, but it was exactly what they needed from him. And then Haskins breaks the record. 20 TDs, more than any Wolverine ever has run for in a single year. That means Jim Harbaugh has now won a Big Ten title as a player and as a head coach. 42-3, the final score. Harbaugh talked right afterwards to Elise Menaker.
You are Big Ten champions. Tell me how that feels.
Feels great. Just really proud of our players, our coaches, staff, everybody. It was a total team effort.
You get the Gatorade bath. Did you say after that, is that it? What did that feel like?
It was cold, but it's my guy Johnny. Just everybody, happy for everybody. These players, these coaches have made a lot of joy in my life, in our fans' life, in everybody's life,
What did it take from your players today to come down after that emotional win against Ohio State and come out here today ready?
Yeah, I'll tell you, there was, after the Ohio State win, everybody was happy, pure joy, glorious. And then 24 hours later was next. Really proud of them.
The leaders on this team, like Hutchinson, McNamara, all those guys, and the way they rallied this team, what did you see out of them?
Yeah, the leaders, without them, we're not here. But it came from everybody. It came from, it was a different guy every week, everybody contributing. Today, I mean, Caden Colasar, Eric All, Hassan Haskins, Aidan Hutchinson, Caden McNamara. The offensive line was great. Defense, Mike McDonald, a lot of credit to him and his staff. It was a total team effort. And we got a block punt. Jay Harbaugh, great job.
Special team,
So, yeah.
Heading to the college football playoff.
We're fired up. We're fired up to be heading there. We're going to enjoy this one, and then we'll get ready for our next one.
And of course, this means Michigan has now won 43 Big Ten titles all time. Nobody in the conference has won more than them. We hear much more from Anthony throughout this show, but let's head out to Indy. Joshua, Jerry, Howard, and Dave are standing by.
Mike, thanks. The Michigan Wolverines are headed to the college football playoff after a dominant win over the Iowa Hawkeyes, 42-3. They are Big Ten champs for the first time since 2004. Dave Remsen, Joshua Perry, Jerry DiNardo, and Howard Griffith. Guys, a dominant effort by the Wolverines. Both sides of the ball, really impressive.
Yeah, they absolutely showed that they're the best team in the Big Ten Conference and one of the best teams in all of college football. And we saw just a complete performance from this team. That's been the theme for them. Offensively, defensively, special teams, they've been able to come through. When you look at the offense, it was very balanced. Defensively, they were able to stifle Iowa's offense, and on special teams came up with the big block punt. Those are all the things that we have seen them do throughout the year, and it came to a crescendo tonight.
Right, no doubt. Offense was explosive early and then balanced the rest of the way, so they were in total control. The defense, they held Iowa in the red zone the first 3 times to a missed field goal, a field goal made, and downs. So complimentary football, really good team on both sides of the ball.
You know, Iowa had some opportunities. This thing stayed close for a while. They had some opportunities, and that halfback pass that they missed on was huge. But this Michigan team, what they've done all year, have just found ways to continue to go out and dominate. They played their game, and they were able to make those plays when they needed to. It wasn't always pretty early, but they were able to be explosive when they needed to in this game, and it is very clear that they are the best team in the Big Ten Conference.
No doubt. And we talked a lot about their emotions. You know, they were emotional enough. It didn't really compare to last week, in my opinion. I mean, the energy was up, but it wasn't at the same level, and that's a sign of a really good team. You can't ever be flat and be a good team, but you don't have to be sky high every week. You just got to be ready enough.
I'll tell you, they were sky high when that confetti started falling.
Yeah,
they had a lot of fun, and that's what it's about.
You know, I think the thing that impressed me the most, guys, is just how dominant they were in every facet of the game. I mean, you guys talk about like blocking a punt. There was no area where it felt like they were challenged in any way. We've been talking a lot about how complete a team this is, and we saw that on display here tonight, Howard. There are no obvious weaknesses for this Michigan team.
You know, one of the things that really stuck out to me early, right, on the Quorum long run, JJ was beating him down the field.
Yeah.
The quarterback is down the field blocking for his running back. To me, that was so impressive, and to me, really set the tone for what this team was able to do.
Yeah, and one of the reasons they're balanced is they went right after Iowa's strength, right? Iowa's strength is their defense, and yet they've got explosive play after explosive play early in the game, and they're balanced the rest of the way. So when you neutralize Iowa's strong suit, what you're left with is an offense that's really going to struggle against a really good Michigan defense.
And when you talk about balance offensively and defensively, you look down the stat sheet and you see how many names there are, and it's not just because the game was out of hand. It's because that they have a lot of guys that really contribute to this team, and I think that's a big part of it, is everybody does their part.
Well, they ended Iowa's streak of 37 straight games, allowing 28 or fewer points. It was the second longest streak in college football since 1990. They obliterated, completely dominated this Iowa defense, 7.4 yards per play against one of the best defenses in the country. And so now the Wolverines are headed to the college football playoff. Should they be the #1 seed in that playoff tomorrow? We'll discuss that and lots more.
Michigan Wolverines picked up their 12th win on the season, only the third time ever they have done that. The other times were 1905 and 1997. And I mentioned this earlier, it was another impressive day for Hassan Haskins. 2 more rushing touchdowns. And if you thought I was lying, here's proof I wasn't. 20 in a season is the most by any Wolverines player ever. And he's not done yet. Elise Menaker had a chance to chat with him on the field.
Hassan, you're Big Ten champs. What is this moment like?
Man, it's an amazing feeling. You know, we finally got here. We finally got it done. You know, it's been a long year, and it paid off. So it's amazing.
You guys had goals set for this season. You beat Ohio State. You can check that off. Big Ten champs. You can check that off. You're going to the college football playoff. What can you check off there?
Hey, we just got to go in there and compete and win. You know, so we can check that off. And, you know, we definitely gonna be prepared. So let's get it.
What makes this team special?
Just the brotherhood. You know, we love each other. You know, we believe in each other. And that works. You feel me? That pays off. And we just got that brotherhood. And, you know.
Describe what was being said around the team this week that got you ready and focused after such an emotional win last week. The leadership that you guys have.
Just everybody buying in. You know, we told ourselves we can't get complacent. And we got to keep moving forward. And that's what we did. You know, we came up on top. So.
The way the offense got involved, everyone working together today and contributing, what does that say about this team?
We came together. You know, like I've been saying, it's a brotherhood. I know I keep saying it, but it's a brotherhood for real. You know, the energy is high, and we definitely feel it.
Final score of the game, 42-3. Michigan gets the win. It was a great all-around performance for them, although there really was no individual star who stood out in this game. But when you have Aidan Hutchinson, it's hard for him to not win the MVP award, which did indeed go to him. He's the first defensive player to ever win it on the Big Ten side. And when the game was done, he stopped by our set to chat with our guys.
Mike, thanks. Very pleased to be joined by the Grange Griffin most valuable player of the Big Ten championship game, Michigan's Aidan Hutchinson. Aidan, congratulations, first of all. You and I talked earlier this week, and I said to you, how do you get up again after such a emotional win over Ohio State? And you said it is about the ring. It is about winning a championship for Michigan, something that hasn't been done since you were 4 years old. You did it. Tell me about that process and how it feels to have gotten there.
Yeah, this team is legendary. We were the ones to break the streak against Ohio State. We were the ones to conquer the beast and just win a Big Ten championship. And it was something that we had all the doubters in the world at the beginning of the season. The only people that really believe are the people in our football building. And you know, that's just a testament to our culture at Michigan, the way we bounced back after last season, and really just the leaders on the team and all the other players investing in the leaders.
When you look back at last year, there were obvious struggles on the defense. You come in this year with Mike McDonald. There are some changes, and they seem to pay off. How invaluable has his leadership been for the defense?
Yeah, bringing in Coach Mack, he's been everything to this defense. I fit perfectly in his scheme, and so many guys on our defense do fit perfectly. So, you know, he came in here. He helped in changing the culture as well, bringing up a whole bunch of young coaches. And, man, he was really, he's really our rock, you know, on the defensive side.
There was a lot made about you guys' leadership, right? I know you're one of the leaders, but talk about some of the other leaders that played some key roles to get you guys to this position.
100%. I mean, you got guys like Hassan, Cade, Andrew Vastardis, Stuber, Hayes. I mean, those are all the guys in the offense. And then defensively, you got guys like Josh Ross, Brad Hawkins. Those are really the two other firm leaders on defense. And, man, I'm just so proud of them. And you know, to win a game by this margin, I mean, it takes it takes a lot, and I really just believed, and we all believed in each other.
Obviously, it's a big deal to win a Big Ten championship. I know you guys are going to celebrate that. But now you're looking forward to a college football playoff. What does it mean for your team to be in this position?
Yeah, we've never been to the playoffs. It's something that we've all been dreaming about, and we can't wait to go. Hey, we're going to soak this one up for a couple days, but hey, whoever we play in that playoffs, we're coming for it all, man. We want it all. We want a big fat ring, another one. So, man, we're all just so excited, and we're going to soak this one up for a couple days. So,
tell me a little bit about the way you guys were able to go out and come up with this dominant victory today and what that meant.
Yeah, defensively, I thought we had a great game plan. Really kept it simple, and it was really just, our defense was built for this. We were built to stop offenses like them, Wisconsin, stuff like that. And, you go out there, only let up 3 points. I mean, that's just a hell of a job by our defense and Coach Matt for coming up for the game plan and really just all our players executing.
You talk about the doubters coming into the season. These people were doubting you, and they were doubting Coach Harbaugh as well. What does this mean to him to have won a Big Ten championship? What's your sense of Coach Harbaugh tonight?
Yeah, just thinking about doubters, I think about Joshua Perry ranking me number 19 in the Big Ten. It just rings a little bell. Add a little fuel in my fire, so I appreciate you. But, no, this is everything for Coach Harbaugh, and this is everything for our team.
What does it say? Yeah, by the way, you've just been called out. What does it say on your wristband there?
So I got play for Tate. We had these patches on our jerseys, TM 42, and it was for all the people at Oxford who are going through it for the Meyer family, and man, we're just so we're also touched by the story, and just the kids that passed away in that shooting. It's just so tragic. So they're close to home too, so we wanted to commemorate them and all the people at Oxford, and we ended up putting up 42 points, and he wore number 42 in football. So I mean, if that's not God working in mysterious ways, I don't know what is.
Well said. Aidan Hutchinson, congratulations on all of your success. We look forward to seeing what's next. We'll be along for the ride as the Wolverines play for potentially a national championship. Congratulations again, Aidan.
Thank you.
Back here in Indy, guys, we know Michigan is headed to the college football playoff. There seems to be a consensus that they will be the number 2 seed and that Alabama will be the number 1 seed. Could you build a case that Michigan could be the 1 seed?
I think you could build a case that Michigan could be the 1 seed. I think it's the way that they've played in these last couple of weeks that really stand out. They had an emphatic win over an Ohio State team that everybody thinks is pretty good, and then they come out here against Iowa, and it seemed like Iowa had no chance in the game from the jump. And so when you start to talk about which teams you rank where, I think how they're playing at the end of the year really matters. That's why we wait until the end of the year to make the final decision. And Michigan is at a crescendo right now that I think is extremely impressive, and you can make a case easily that they're playing the best ball out of anybody in America right now.
Well, I can't be critical of the committee for not watching tape and then try to rate these teams that I haven't watched. But I would say this. I think what the committee will do is they will try to gauge, is the Alabama victory over Georgia better than the Michigan victory over Iowa, and they might be able to make a case for that. We keep saying that Georgia doesn't have any big wins.
Have beaten anyone in the top 15.
And yet the committee ranks them number 1. So
Right.
if we think someone that doesn't have any big wins is ranked number 1 by a committee, and if we think that committee is going to come to their senses tomorrow, I mean...
But they were undefeated. I mean, so that was why they were number 1, right?
Yeah, that was, and they're in the SEC, so that makes them number 1. I'm just saying, I think the issue is who was more impressive in victory today. Was it Michigan or was it Alabama? And I think that's where they're going to go.
Yeah, I think one of the things, and I mentioned this to you, Dave, a couple of weeks ago when I watched this Georgia team, because everyone was trying to tell us how good they were. And when I watched them, I said Tennessee was running by these guys, the secondary, all night long, but they just couldn't connect on those plays. Now, when you watched Alabama today against that secondary, they were still running right past those guys, and they were able to connect on those plays. So I think Alabama is an outstanding team and has peaked at the right moment, but I don't believe that they're at this time that there's a better team than Michigan that's kicking it right now, playing well on offense, defense, and special teams, all phases of the game, and they are getting better. And that's why I think you could easily make the case for Michigan to be the number 1 seed. Now, as you mentioned, Coach, might not work out that way, but the most important thing is they've got a shot.
Let me tell you real quick.
Go ahead.
One thing that I think is a shame is I don't think Michigan's going to get the credit they deserve for beating Iowa because Iowa's not a sexy brand. It's not a sexy program.
They were the number 13 team, though, according to the committee.
In 10 wins. I mean, that's an emphatic win over a 10-win team. I think that should count for something, but people are going to look on the outside
They're gonna say
and
yes.
say, well, you know, they got an offense that's old school and it's really a defensive team, and it just doesn't get you as many style points as being a team like Alabama who beats a Georgia who was supposed to be this juggernaut, and, you know, their offense was really building and everybody thought they had the best defense in America.
There's some politics involved in this, too. I mean, if Alabama's 1 and Georgia is 2 or 3, you could have an all-SEC final, right? Obviously, the second seed. If let's say Michigan's 2 and Georgia's 3, and let's say Georgia beats Michigan, then you've got Alabama against either a Cincinnati or a Notre Dame. You also have politics in this. Notre Dame is 4, and it's Alabama-Notre Dame. That's a lot of TV, people. That's a lot of hype.
Notre Dame's not going to get into this. Cincinnati's going to get into it.
Unless they want Alabama to play Notre Dame, and they say that Notre Dame is better now than it was when it lost to Cincinnati. I'm just saying, I don't trust what they do. I mean, I think they could do anything.
Okay, if we're going to make the case, though, for Michigan as number 1, I mean, I think the other thing you look at is who did these teams lose to, right? Alabama lost to Texas A&M, who is barely, hanging by a thread. They are number 25, whereas Michigan lost to Michigan State moderately controversially by 4 points, a Michigan State team that is very solidly in that top 25. So, again, I think there are a lot of arguments you could be making here that would put Michigan in that conversation to be number 1.
Just flip on the tape. I think it's really as simple as that. What we've seen these last couple of weeks, that's all I need to see.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely true. You could make a case for Michigan being number 1, and I think that's absolutely true. Watch the tape to decide. But that's not what they're going to do. And if they all watch the tape, they don't know what they're watching. I mean, this has been clear from the start.
If there's any better summary of the take on the committee's
That's it.
performance than that, I don't know what is. So I'm just going to leave it at that. We'll give Jerry the last word and send it back to Mike in Chicago.
Now, what Saturday's win means for Michigan, well, we've covered a lot, but what it means for the divisions is pretty clear also, because the East Division has now won 8 consecutive Big Ten football championship games. In fact, since they went from Leaders and Legends to East and West, the East has won every single time. For more reaction, back out to Indianapolis we go.
Mike, thanks. One of the most exciting plays of this game, Roman Wilson on the receiving end of a 75-yard touchdown pass from, of all people, Donovan Edwards. So take us through that play. How long have you guys been working on it, and how often has it succeeded to this degree in practice?
We practice it at least one time, like, every day. But Donovan, I'm going to call him Donnie Dimes from now on. He threw, that was an absolute dime he threw. And, for a second I thought he was going to overthrow me, but, he gave me a perfect chance. And we practice it all the time, to be honest. And he damn near threw a pass like that all the time, too.
Ran right underneath it, and obviously the rest is history. And when you look at this wide receiver room specifically, it's never just one guy who's making all of the plays. It seems like every single game there's a different guy who pops up and makes a play. How does your preparation as a group go into that group success?
We practice really hard, and I feel like, everyone's just waiting for their chance. Because, there's so much of us who are all really good talents. And we all know that when it's our chance, we got to take advantage of it. Because you never know when you're going to get another chance again. And I feel like that's why everyone who goes in, they do really good when they get their chances.
We talk all week about games, and we try to make believe we know what's going on. And one of the conversations we had a lot this week is how emotional you would be going into this game after being so emotional last week going into Ohio State. So compare the high or the emotion, whatever you want to call it, between this game and the Ohio State game.
Well, for me, I feel like last week, that was the most emotional game of my life, before and after. And I feel like the big trick for me was to be able to carry that over into this week. And I feel like I did a really good job doing that, staying emotionally invested into the game and things like that. And just trying to get my mind prepared for this game so I can get ready for the next game too.
How big of a statement is it that your team is going to be represented in the college football playoff?
It's just a huge honor, a huge blessing. I just can't stop thinking about the struggles we went through last year, being 2-6, 2-4, and how hard it was for us and how our team overcame adversity and where we are today.
What Coach Harbaugh say to the team after the game?
I honestly can't remember. I was so excited. Just a lot of things went through my mind. I can't remember.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
What is the best part of this?
Probably the next one, if I'm being honest.
All right. Roman Wilson, congratulations on a huge night. Congratulations on being a Big Ten champion. That's got to sound pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what size ring you take?
I'm not sure. I know. I don't know.
They'll get you sized up.
Yeah.
They'll get you sized up.
You're going to find out. We will see you on the road to the college football playoff.
Jim Harbaugh is having one heck of a season. He's now got 12 wins on the year, which is tied for the most he's ever had as a head coach, and he's not done yet. A couple more wins could be sitting out there. Harbaugh afterwards talking to the media alongside with the title game MVP.
Like, when did you know that this was going to be a special team, or how did you know that they would refocus? And it's the same qualities. And I love this team. There's no team I love more than this team, but it's the same qualities. I think back to the USD team we had in 2005 and 2006, and the Stanford team in 2009 and 2010, and the 49er team 11, 12, and 13. It's just the way they approach it. They give it their best every day. And then you just that simple thing. And nobody ever thinks it's that simple, but it's that simple. There's 1,000 other little things that go into it, but when you're around a group of guys and you watch them, making sure that they give it their best, their very best, every single day. And Aidan did lead that. I mean, that was from January, you could see, when he went into the weight coaches and said, I'm coming back, and every time I step into this weight room, make sure you ring me out. Get everything out of me. And, you could tell he was hungry, and the weight coaches said, yeah, this can be an all-you-can-eat buffet in here. And he ate it up. And that became contagious, and others followed. But, yeah, just this is who they are. They give it their very best every day.
In the middle, Chris. Jim, Iowa's defense seemed pretty aggressive in the first half. Can you just talk about the second half adjustments? There seemed to be some more check with me and reaction to what they were doing.
Yeah, we knew, first of all, Donovan Edwards, we had that play that was ready for prime time. It's been ready for prime time for about 7 weeks. First put it in before he hurt his ankle, and then when he came back, started greasing it up again, and knew that one was going to work. We had it planned early. As soon as we got on the left hash after the fourth play, we were going to run that, and he's never missed on that throw. Sometimes he throws it off his right foot. He's always on the move, running when he throws it, and every time it's a dime. And Roman did a great job tracking it down, and that was big. So we hit some big plays. Blake's huge run in the first half, and I don't think Iowa's had a run against them over 30 yards, all season. So that was big. I mean, they're really great. They're the 9th-ranked defense in the country. And then second half, we went exclusively pretty much to check with me's at the line of scrimmage, and felt like we knew when they were blitzing, what they were doing. Great job by Josh Gaddis. Great job by Mike McDonald and the defensive staff. Great job by the offensive staff. Great job by the special teams. How about the block punt? I don't know how Cornelius Johnson was able to. He didn't look like he was near a position to block that punt, but somehow he contorted and got his left arm and hand in there to block that punt. But it was, great complimentary football. Once again, by the Michigan Wolverines.
All right, Mike.
Meanwhile, it's a loss for the Iowa Hawkeyes, giving them 10 wins in the regular season, which remains tied for the third most in program history. Kirk Ferentz afterwards addressed the media.
Okay, just starting out, congratulating Michigan. They played a great game, and they've had an outstanding season. They're just a really talented football team, and they perform extremely well. They've been consistent all season long, so hats off to them tonight, certainly. And, we knew this game would be a big challenge coming into it. Got a lot of respect for what they've done this season. Knew we'd have to play our best and make some things go our way, and obviously that didn't materialize. So, it's certainly disappointing tonight, and it certainly hurts. Everybody in the locker room's very disappointed and not feeling so great. But, the one thing I'll just say about this football team, somehow this season they found a way to win 10 football games. They can be really proud of that. And, we still got another game to go. So, just told the guys in the locker room on behalf of our entire staff how proud we are of what they've done since January. And tonight certainly wasn't what we intended it to be. Didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. But, we'll put this behind us after a couple days. Go back to work at the end of the week and try to be smart about the month and have an opportunity to play one more time as a team, this 2021 team.
The Michigan Wolverines 42-3 winners over Iowa. They are Big Ten champs. We're joined by Josh Ross, who led the team with 9 tackles today. Josh, you and I spoke about a month ago, and we were talking about your legacy at Michigan. Your brother James played there. Your dad, a huge Michigan fan as well. What does it mean to you to be the one who breaks through and wins a Big Ten title?
It's such a great feeling. It's so funny because me and my dad were talking about this a week ago, and my whole life, it's always been my brother made accomplishments, but I was always bigger, and I always did a little bit bigger. And now it's like, what we've accomplished the last couple weeks, man, it means so much to my family, to our team, to all of us, and it's a great feeling, and we're not done yet.
Josh, did you have to make any adjustments to things maybe you hadn't practiced against today?
Honestly, we had a motive on what we wanted to do and accomplish as a defense coming into this game, and we knew it might have been some things that we messed up on during the season that we was going to get out of some of our base looks. But we executed, and we stopped the run, and that was our main objective coming in today. And we did a really, really good job of that, and that's what started us being effective, was stopping the run initially.
Were you guys able, or did you feel like you were able to dictate the pace of this game from the defensive side? Normally offenses get out there, they're able to move the ball around, but did you guys feel like defensively you could go out and do what you needed to do?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, honestly, though, it was some drives. It was some long drives in there, but we bowled up in the red zone and had some really, really great stops. But as a defense, we really felt like we could dictate what we were able to do. But like I said, it just came down to stopping the run. And that's why the game was what it was, because we were able to stop the run. And Iowa's offense and team goes off of time of possession and holding the ball and running the rock.
The defensive scheme changed from a year ago pretty drastically.
Yeah.
How did it change for you specifically?
So for me specifically, it was a little bit more downhill. Inside, we always playing with edges. As a backer, that you love that. You know what I'm saying? You love playing with edges so you can play downhill and go put your face on the ball. But like I said, I'm just so grateful, to have the teammates I have and the coaches I have, and to have the team we have and what we've built since January, because it's something special, and we're just showing it to the world now.
You mentioned the doubters, right? So not only was the team doubted, but your coach was doubted. What was his message to you after it was all over tonight?
I mean, none of the noise matters, It's just about us. And our message didn't have nothing to do about the doubters. It was about us and what we accomplished and how happy we were and what we did throughout this whole year, ups and downs, to get to the point we're at now. I mean, it's an amazing feeling, but like I said, we're not done yet.
At what point did you know that you had something special? Because I think every team you go into a season, you're optimistic, you feel like, hey, we're going to be good. But when did you know you were going to be good?
In camp, to be honest with you, in camp. I mean, it was some practices where the energy of practice was like, you've never felt energy like that from a team. At least I never felt that being at Michigan. I never felt the energy of practice. Like, it was times at the end of practice where everybody's jumping around on the defensive side. When we're doing a scrimmage, a young guy scrimmage, and everybody on the sidelines is jumping around and excited, and then the offense making a couple plays, and they getting just excited as we are. But everybody's jumping around and having a good time and being brothers and playing football and competing.
that's where it started, you know.
I'm guessing you're still jumping around and having a good time. A good time was had by all tonight wearing maize and blue. Josh Ross, congratulations on a fabulous season, and looking forward to seeing what will come next for this Michigan team on a journey potentially to the national championship. Congratulations, Josh. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Let's go back to Chicago.
Yeah, and when you win your first ever Big Ten football championship game,
oh yeah,
you get to dance.
That's right.
You get to show off the moves.
You ever had that feeling?
It's not important whether I have or have not.